Before you can file a sales tax return, you need to register with the state or local jurisdiction. Each state and local jurisdiction sets its own rules to determine if you need to register. This concept is often called nexus. Two common ways to meet nexus requirements are if you have a physical presence in a state, such as a store, employee, or warehouse, or if you cross an economic threshold in the state. Economic thresholds could be a certain number of transactions, the total sales volume, or both. Other types of nexus include click-through nexus, affiliate nexus, trade show nexus, and more. We help you monitor where you're approaching economic thresholds on your Avalara homepage. Based on the committed transactions in your Avalara account, we highlight states where you're approaching or have passed an economic threshold. If you have sales that don't flow through your Avalara account, you need to check those transactions yourself to see if you met any thresholds. To get the most accurate results from the map, make sure you're committing all your transactions in AvaTax, even in states where you don't collect tax. When you've met 80% of a state's sales or transactions threshold, the state will turn yellow. When you have met or exceeded a state's threshold, the state will turn orange. You can use this information as a tool to help you make decisions. We do not automatically register you in a state. However, you can pay us to do it for you.
The details of the map show you where you may have met a threshold and whether it's a sales or transactional threshold. We also let you know where you may be approaching a threshold. You can run reports that display your economic activity. The Economic Nexus Summary Report shows the date when you may have crossed the economic threshold. It also tells you the sales threshold percentage and the transaction threshold percentage that you're approaching or have exceeded. The report gives you details on where you're approaching economic nexus in a state, and it shows you which states you already have nexus turned on. Let's look at North Carolina as an example.
We suggest North Carolina because a transactional threshold was met there. To find out the transactional threshold for North Carolina, search our Nexus guides. The Nexus guides provide a snapshot on state requirements for meeting economic thresholds. We can see that the economic threshold in North Carolina is $100,000 in sales or 200 transactions. Finally, the North Carolina Department of Revenue website, like all states, has guidelines on meeting economic thresholds. If you've determined that you need to register in North Carolina, the next step is to complete the registration. To learn more, watch our video on registering.